Peace and light. Peace and light. Peace and light. Come on in here, family. Come on in here, family. Man, we doing something today. We doing something today. We doing something today. Come on in here, family. Come one, come all. Come one, come all. Come one, come all. Today we are doing something different, family. Today we are giving a tribute to the fathers. Yeah, to the fathers. It's going to be something special. I'm going to give you all a second to get in here. And then we're going to hop on it. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on in here. Come on. Come on. You are watching Magick Up TV. I am your host, Seven The Alchemist. Here's where we talk about love, we talk about law, we talk about all things. There's nothing off the table you understand. And here's what we say. Life is easy. We make it hard. You know what to do when you get here. Hit the love button, hit the share button. Let somebody know that The Alchemist is in the building. And this morning, man, this morning, we doing a salute to the fathers. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's crazy. I guarantee you this one right here, like, some people decided not to watch the video just because I was giving a tribute to the fathers. It's a cold world, man. It's a real cold world. There's an initiative here in Georgia that's doing some really amazing things, man. It's called I'm a Father First. I'm a Father First. That's the initiative. I want y'all to look it up. They're doing 20 Days of Christmas. Some amazing, amazing men of the community. You know, one of their initiatives is fathering the fatherless sons. You know what I'm saying? Father the fatherless sons. Between the ages of 8 and 18, I believe it is, 8 and 21. I just got introduced to this initiative just a few months ago. And I know the founders, and I'm telling you, man, these guys are amazing. And be it that, you know, for most of you may know, most of you may not, or some of you may not, most of you should know. I am a father of 4. I'm a father of 4 amazing souls, 2 boys, 2 girls. My boys are grown. My boys, 26 and 18. One's a police officer. The other one is going into firefighting. He's passed all his tests, just graduated high school this year. You know, amazing, 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 amazing young kings. But 2 years ago, from my previous marriage, I took full custody of my 2 beautiful, beautiful daughters. Okay. And it's different. It's really different going from being married and being a father and being single and being a father. Those are 2 complete. I'm talking about being in the home. Now, you know, those who father don't have to father in the home. You could be out of the home and still be an amazing father. As a matter of fact, I think one of the problems, here we go, I'm gonna just jump right in it. I think one of the problems in fatherhood is the same problem we are having in parenthood right now. What are you talking about, Seven? Do you remember a time, I'm talking about parenthood, do you remember a time when you didn't have to be your child's best friend? When you could just be a great parent without being in the room playing with all their toys with them on YouTube. Remember that? Remember that? Remember when you could be a great parent without being in every moment of your child's life? Every minute of your child's life? That same thing is what happened to fatherhood and husbandry. The same thing. Why do you say that, Seven? Because great fathers used to father from a distance. How so? Well, I'm going to tell you how so. The world was not yet made. So they were out making the world. They were either military men. They were hunters, gatherers. You understand? They were out building, right? Their time in the home, they were at war. I mean, their time in the home was not that expansive. You understand what I'm saying? They were not in the home as much as they are now. All right. And I think that's one of the problems with this situation that we're having. Men have been occupying the space that was carved out for women. You understand? This is a tribute to fathers. This is a tribute to fathers, but I'm trying to give you some science before we get there. And in order to do that, I have to also tip my hat to the woman. Why? Because as the world was being created, there were places there were nudges in our fabric of humanity that was created specifically for the woman. You understand? And as time started to progress, and those who did not possess the might of man was threatened by the might, and so started to create the replacement of mighty. Okay? So those of might was not needed any longer. From construction, you understand, to all sorts of stuff. We can get into that, but that's not the point. I'm making a point. I'm giving you some filler. All right? So the father was not necessarily in the house as much as he is now. And so, in my opinion, I feel as though we have gotten to a place where we have lost respect for the father. We are living now in a matriarch society. We have been led by a queen, you understand, for a century. You understand? And so, those of masculine ability, those of parental figure who are of male construct, the father is one of the most unappreciated people. Not just the man, okay? Because just men get more respect than a father. Why? To father, not to just be man. To father, you have to be tapped in. You have to be truly tapped in to both sides of life force. We have all of this might, and it's not the same as dealing with a woman. It's not the same. When you're dealing with a woman, you can easily walk away. You know what, woman? I'm out of here. Just get out of my face. Right? And you're gone. I'm leaving. But a father, I'm not talking about a man who had kids. I'm talking about a father. That father with all of that ego and all of that might and all of that strength has to all of that power has to subside in order, you understand, to communicate to this child. It's an ability that a mother can't understand. Why? Because as that child was being formed, your bond with that child was being formed with it. That father had to consciously create that bond with that child. You understand what I'm saying? That mother and that child, that thing was being done right there. Why? Because the father, the way that nature was, the father had to go get it. You understand? He couldn't have such a bond with that child. Because if he had such a bond with that child, it would make it almost impossible for him to go get it. Why? Because a man's nature is to protect. You understand? And we have been misunderstood. Why do you say? Because that man really does have the ability to do this. How do you know? He does it with his woman. You understand? That covering, that man has the ability to forsake all and just do this. It takes consciousness, you understand, to be able to balance your God-given strength and that nurture nature. That nurture nature. That nurture nature is when that child falls down and that father says, come here, baby. Come here. It's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. Daddy got you. It's going to be okay. Why? Because that man's nature is to say, man, get your ass up and go ahead now. Get up. Just go. You be all right. That's a man's nature. A father's nature is, come here. Come here. Come here. A man's nature is, what the fuck you doing all that crying for? All that crying for? A father's nature is, listen, you got to be careful who you cry around, because people will take advantage of your soft points. You understand? A man and a father. A man has to learn how to be a father. A mom is a mom from the moment of conception. I want y'all to really understand this. I don't think nobody has ever really put the science to this before. You understand? I don't really think anybody has put the science to this before. Do you understand that a man has to choose to be a father? He has to choose that. A woman is already a mom the moment that things start happening. You understand? That bond with that child is already being created through various steps of manifestation of human transformation from this soul that was sent into the vessel. You understand? Because man's calling wasn't to father. I'm going to say this again. Man's calling was not to father. Man's calling was to create. Do you understand that? Man's calling was to create, be fruitful, and multiply. To father is a science. This is something that takes care, concern, understanding, patience, love, admiration. It takes being able, you understand, to put everything that you've got going on in perspective. And because man's nature is to be fruitful and multiply, it is easy. It is easy for him to create and move, create and move, create and move. That's his design. But the father looks back. The father stops and says, wait, before I move on to other things, let me provide this sense of security. Let me provide a sense of knowledge base. Let me provide a sense of know-how. Let me guide. Let me show. Let me cover. Let me love. Let me do these things so that these seeds can grow to be somewhat like me. Women don't, do you know, like in a relationship, right? When it's time to go on vacation, it sounds fun for everyone else. It's fun for everyone else. You know what I mean? Everybody gets to pack it. They get the, hey, look, we going here, we going there. What I want you to do, the next time you go on vacation, and it's a family vacation, I want you to look at all the dads. I want you to look and see the time that the dads are having to lug around all the baggage, right? He's coming out of the pocket and taking care of the trips. When the car, you know what I mean, gets a flat, he's the one that's getting out and putting the air back into the tire. Or he's directing the family to get off the road. You understand? He's the one that, if anything is wrong, he's protecting. No one's existence in the family, you understand, is like that. Unless you're a single mother. But see, he's got to do that too as a single father. But in a marriage, you shouldn't have to be doing all of that. That's normally his role. And he knows this. It is a badge of honor, though it is taxing and daunting. It is a badge of honor to be worn. I am dad. I am not just the man that belongs to this woman, but I co-created these entities that walk upright among the planet. I have given them direction and guidance that leads society into a new order. To salute the fathers doesn't mean you have to take any homage away from the moms. To salute the fathers doesn't mean you have to take any respect from the moms. But what it does mean is that, man, sometimes we need our spot just to us. Sometimes we just need somebody to say, hey, guy, that's an awesome job you're doing. When a mom is in need, there are hotlines all over the place. There's help all over the place. There's resources all over the place. When you're a father, oh, man. And like, you got to get it how you get it, bruh. Shelters, far few and in between. Financial resources, friends, stuff like that. It is so much harder for a father to receive help than it is for a man. That's crazy. That's crazy. But it's so hard for a man to receive help. So when you put those algorithms together, this is a very, very challenging place to be as a father. Single father? Oh my God. Let's talk about going to the park. We take our kids I take my children to the park, right? I got two beautiful, amazing little girls. And as a single father, there's no one with me. There's no one with me, right? So when your children run off, you're there. Like, either you're following them around, and I'm going to give you the science of this. I'm going to tell you something. It's really a science, right? They either run off into the park, you know what I mean? They playing on the stuff and you're just watching from a distance, right? Or you're following them around as they play on the different situations, okay? While these children are playing, if any child come up to you, right? The moms, because there are a lot of moms on the playground. These are moms that are watching their children. They didn't see you come in with your kids. They don't know which one are yours. They don't know what's going on. And they see a strange man. If I was a woman, it wouldn't be so threatening. I've been told this. Like, I've been doing this a while, right? But because here I am in this park, what they're doing the moment they see me, they're trying to figure out which one is mine. To validate me being in the park, number one. Me being as close as I am to the children, number 2. And then the playfulness that may take place. Because here's what'll happen. You'll have, you know what I'm saying? Let's say my kids, right? They'll play. And then, of course, a kid will see that my kids have a dad, right? With them. I'm not saying that they don't have one. I'm just saying that the dad is in the park. So now the kids see nothing but a big 2-legged play animal. That's what a dad is in the park. He's a play animal. And he's everybody's play animal unless he says, hey, I don't know you, little kid. Don't be playing with me. And sometimes you really have to be like that. I have daughters. Daughters are playing with girls. Girls are coming, you know what I'm saying? So as my kids are running back up and forth, back and forth up to me, a lot of times the kids will come with them. So now the parents are looking and like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But my kids may have run off and their kid is still, so it gets really crazy. Or I'll say, hey, is that your daughter? And they're like, why are you asking? Well, okay, I'm sorry. Those are my kids right there. But if I'm a woman, it's already assumed that I'm a parent in the park. Now, let's talk about creating play dates. Okay? Because these women, they may be married or in relationships. Most women are, you know what I'm saying? They're married in a relationship if they're here in the park with these kids, right? So now my daughter comes up to me, she's like, hey, Dad, I really like playing with that little girl over there. Do you think you can get with her mom and set up a play date? Ah, man, here we go. Something that should seem so simple. Something that should seem so simple for fathers isn't always as simple, right? So now, here we go. Hey, listen, I'm so-and-so's dad. They're trying to get a play date together, wanted to know if you wanted to change numbers. Well, I don't know. I'm married. This is what happens. Well, I didn't ask you your relationship status. I asked if our daughters could get together for a play date. Can our daughters get together for a play date? Then, oh boy, it's got to depend on where that play date is, who's going to be there. How many parents are coming to the play date? What do you mean how many parents are coming to the play date? It's a play date for my daughters. Like, they want to play with your daughters. Would you like for that to happen? Yes or no? What are we doing? I'm not trying to date you. But this is what fathers go through when they are alone without their women, or if there are single fathers out here. It's not as simple with some of these transactions. You understand? We go through things too. We go through financial hardships. We want to be able to talk about it. But for some reason, women feel as though men shouldn't even be broke. Like, there isn't even a possibility that we should have any type of financial struggle at all. Like being a man should come with an instant cash card. But as a father who's pouring into his children, he's not out there, you know what I'm saying, buying the latest J's. He's not out there, you know what I'm saying, buying the chains. He's not out there buying the fedoras. Man, I hate these fedoras, boy. Oh, God, I hate them. I hate them. Men in fedoras remind me of my grandma in church. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not a cowboy hat. Like, it's not like I just got off of a horse. It's a little more sophisticated than that. And I just feel like, why you wearing Zorro's hat and you ain't hopped off a horse with a sword? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. The strength of a father, man, like, if you all seen Pursuit of Happiness, men suffer from pride. You know what I'm saying? We suffer from ego. It's hard for us to ask for help. It's very hard. Very, very hard. You know what I'm saying? And when you have children and you're telling your child that they can't get something because daddy doesn't have it, fathers are like the hero. You know what I'm saying? It's like we can't fail at all. There is no margin of error for daddy. If it is, all is forsaken. Do you understand? It's hard for women. It's hard for women to see a man down and out. It's hard for a woman to see a man going through anything by which is breaking his back. They don't know how to respond. Some of them don't know how, because they've never, what a man is supposed to be and what a father is supposed to be is this myth. It's a myth. It's amazing. I look up and I see that there's absolutely no one on this live. That hasn't happened in a long time. My point exactly. If this was a tribute to mothers, the line would be lit up. The line would be lit up. I want you to realize what happens on Father's Day. Nothing. Mother's Day, it's this all-out celebration. It's this all-out, you understand? Oh, they rolling out the carpet. They rolling out the carpet. There's roses everywhere. Do you know that Father's Day is the least celebrated holiday on the calendar? And that's not because there's no fathers. I'm telling you, I'm in Atlanta. I go to Sky Zone in Marietta on any random Saturday. I want you to understand how many men are in that place with their kids. Oftentimes, they're there, you know what I'm saying, with their wives, right? If it's a man by himself, he might be granddad, right? Or he might be an uncle, you know what I'm saying? Oftentimes, right? But nonetheless, fathers be in the building. Buckhead, 6:40, 6:45. The buses are coming. Fathers are at the bus stop. This myth, I mean, we can't even have the identity that we exist, especially when you get to talking about black fathers. We can't even get the actuality that we exist. The myth still remains that there are no men in the home. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no fathers in the home. That's not true anymore. That's not true. Far from it. Did you know, you understand, that even from an incarceration rate, black men are not going to jail like they once were? And the incarceration rate was sped up. All of this was due to narcotics. Mostly all of it was due to narcotics. Mostly all of it was due to narcotics. And it was a ploy to take the black father out of the home. But see, what happened was time and opportunity presented itself. And our fathers got back to business. Even my own. My father was absent for quite a while. For quite a while. And then, you understand, time and opportunity. And he returned to consciousness and fatherhood. Fatherhood is a choice. And it's something that's not so easy all the time for us to choose. Because when that baby is being born, when that baby is being created, we're not even considered. We're not even considered a part of the creation. And that's science. You know what I'm saying? You ever seen a couple that's expecting a baby? All the attention is either on the child and or mom. No one cares about the father. No one cares about the fact that he has to be there for the both of them while she's there for the baby. A father has to forsake his first manhood desires. You understand? His first manhood, his first thought process. He has to forsake that. He has to put that in alignment with existence in order to be in alignment with existence. That's why it is easy for men to walk away. Especially, I want you to understand, like, it's not often that a man is leaving his children after a certain age. Normally, statistically, that child is being left before being a toddler. And based upon that man's occupation, based upon that man's, you understand, place in the home, if he has a place in the home or not, bonding with that child requires much more than just time. It requires more than time. It requires activity. Because the child wasn't made manifest in the body of the man. So he has to give himself, you understand, to that child. The mother already did that. She gave herself in that creation. He has to now, of course, himself is in the child. That's not what I'm talking about. That's the magnet. That's why it should not be so difficult to be a father to that child. That's why it shouldn't be difficult. Now, in reference to fathering a child that's not yours, that comes with complication often. Why? Because you did not father that child. You understand? That instinct of respect is not in that kid. Then because you're not a co-creator, the mom oftentimes don't want you correcting her child. That's my child. Don't be touching my child. Don't be spanking my kid. Don't be talking crazy to my child. Don't father my child. My child already got a daddy. She didn't say my child already has a father. She said my child already got a daddy. So now, when you're asking for this man to come into your life to be your husband and you have children, how are you expecting him to be a father because he cannot possess the same time and space with a child without fathering the child, even if the child has a father? This is why nature is the way it is, and all of that divorce, and that's why all this goes against nature. That's why it all goes against nature. You understand? I am flabbergasted. I am flabbergasted watching the numbers from the actuality. These numbers would have been up right now. There's no one on this live. This is my point being made. This is my point being made. This hurts my heart, man. And I do this every single morning. Every single morning. So it was chosen by those who normally show up not to show up. They saw it. Salute to fathers. I ain't gonna do that one today. And then you wonder why fathers just dissipate. If you weren't being paid on your job, you wouldn't keep going. People do, you know what I'm saying? People go where they're celebrated. And I really want you to think about this. Because I know some of y'all gonna watch it. I ain't concerned in reference to it being shared later and all of that. That's not my concern. I do this every morning around the same time. Around the same time. So consciously, you saw the title and said, nah, not this morning. I'm gonna sit this one out. That hurts. That hurts coming from a father, not just a man. If this one was on relationships, oh boy, it would have been flooded. If I'm talking about what a man ain't doing, oh boy, if I would have said all the deadbeats, you know what I'm saying? Fuck the deadbeats, it would have been flooded. But the moment you want to give tribute to a man that's doing something he's supposed to be doing, we have a hard time celebrating men, y'all. That's why men have to do it. It's not going to come from a woman. Y'all don't know how to celebrate a man no more. You just don't. Especially not these fathers. I talk to these men, yo, and they are soulless. Their souls have been taken, snatched. No one cares. I'm a father first. It's a nonprofit in Georgia. I really want y'all to support that. Look it up. It's time, man. It's time to restore this order. Did you know that, statistically speaking, if children had to be in a single parent household, statistically speaking, do you know that they come out as better human beings from a single father household than a single mother household? I want you all to look at the incarceration rate of these black children, these black boys, and the fact that they've been under motherhood for the last 40, 50 years. Now, fathers are getting back into the homes. And did you know that the black male incarceration rate has started to decrease? That's science. We don't want to acknowledge it. We don't want to celebrate it, because what does that mean? That means that in a very short time span, the order of family will be restored, because it's happening right now. The order of family is being restored. These men have arrived to the understanding that if we do not act now, our families and our future and our communities will no longer exist. I salute the fathers. I salute the fathers. You all have more pressure on your back than many can understand. And it's not about women going, oh, but we've been doing it. Let them have their moment, sister. Let them have their moment. If you know a father, give him a call today. Send him a message in his inbox. You know what I'm saying? DM him. Give him a shout out. Tell him you love him. Because boy, what a choice it is. And it is the most rewarding choice that a man could participate in, outside of that God-given responsibility, which is the God-given responsibility. You understand? It's difficult for a man who's been given his mission. It's difficult for him to father, because that mission, oftentimes, and if it's a divine one, it keeps him from out of the home. It keeps him gone often. Especially if it's a powerful mission, it keeps him going often. That man is missing his kids. Don't think different. Just because he has to be gone doesn't mean he does not miss them kids. It was the worst days of my life having to wake up without hearing the sound of my children's voices. Man, them was some of the worst days of my life. Waking up knowing that my child is in a different time zone and I can't get to him. My child is having issues and I can't get to him. That's not as easy as y'all may think. But see, a man is bred for you not to know how bad he going through it. I'm telling you, this shit get deep. There's a psychological disadvantage. There's an emotional disadvantage. There's a connected disadvantage that he had to overcome to be dad. So give dad a shout out, man. Give dad a hug. Give dad some love. Let your father know you love him. Let somebody's father know you love him. If you know any man with children, give him a salute. That ain't hard. I love y'all. This is why I say life is easy. We make it hard. Peace to man, woman, and child. As above, so below, may all things be balanced and well alignment. Dua, dua, as I send his love and light to each and every one of y'all. This live should have been flooded. Send this message out, man. I love you, fathers. Y'all are some amazing motherfuckers.